Warning: the following content may contain spoilers for film and television programs. It is also intended for mature audiences. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Ahoy, all of you flick freaks out there, what is going on? My name is Andrew, and welcome to episode 64 of the Flick Freak Podcast. Joined with me today, we have the King of the Doldrums, Brian Vaughn.
Hi, and happy holidays.
Merry holidays, and happy New Year's to everybody. This is the last podcast of the year.
That's true. This is it for us in 2015.
Yeah. You got any big expectations for 2016? Like, not just for yourself, but like maybe in films and stuff like that?
I actually would like to, maybe this would be something we do on our next podcast, but kind of look at the expected releases, maybe do a little bit of a preview. You know, something like that.
When everybody's here.
Yeah. See, Andrew and I are flying duo.
Yeah.
On this particular podcast. Jareth is dead, and Mike is in a small town no one cares about, because they are not dedicated to their craft as we are. They go do whatever just because it's Jesus' birthday or whatever. We, however, are here for our dedicated followers.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I believe you have some news about our dedicated followers.
Yes, actually. Trying to get everything. All right. So I can do this. We have over 10,000 subscribers now on YouTube. Hooray.
We're feeling pretty good about ourselves right now. You can't see it, but we're actually both wearing crowns and carrying scepters.
Yes.
To exact our authority over everyone.
At the time of the recording for this podcast, we have exactly 10,128 subscribers on YouTube right now.
And if you don't believe Andrew, I can confirm this because there is a graphic on the computer.
And it gets a countdown as soon as somebody immediately subscribes. It counts over. Because with YouTube, it normally takes like 1 or 2 days for it to actually like flip over to what the new subscriber base is.
You know, I realized I feel kind of guilty because I am actually not a subscriber. I don't have a YouTube account.
You don't need one.
So you don't.
You don't need one to watch the videos, so.
That's true, but I mean, to follow, don't you need an account?
Yes.
See, I need to create an account. Because I feel bad with these 10,000 people, 10,000 strangers following our product when I'm not doing it. It just feels a little dirty.
I think you can connect your Facebook or Twitter account to YouTube and
I'm going to have to do that then.
Yeah. Well, for those of you out there who love analytics as much as Brian and I do, we're going to read off our lifetime analytics on our journey to 10,000 subscribers.
This is how we get more subscribers, by reading off analytics.
Yes, exactly.
People eat that shit up.
Oh, man, I'm afraid we're going to lose a few now, so...
We can afford to lose about 120.
We can afford to lose 128. After that, then we're in trouble. So we have 5,029,918 minutes viewed total across all of our videos.
That is a lot of minutes.
Yes. The average view time for one of our videos is 3 minutes, 7 seconds.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, our reaction videos are somewhere between, 7 and 8 minutes.
Right.
Our podcasts, obviously, are a lot longer.
Yeah, typically.
Yeah. So that means people just fast forward through all the bullshit of me explaining a video and they go straight to the reaction and then they quit watching.
Or if they were to fast forward through all the bullshit of our podcast, that probably does leave 3 legitimate minutes of
actual stuff,
things that matter in there.
Views, we have 605,485 views across all of our videos. And let's go down here. Okay, likes, dislikes, comments, shares, all that stuff. So we have 31,915 likes across all our videos, 1,102 dislikes. So, for every 30
to 1 ratio.
Yeah, 30. I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. We have 8,240 comments across all of our videos, and 501 shares. And almost 4,000 people have added our videos to their playlist. So that's not a lot. That's not something a lot of people do.
No, I think you'd have to be pretty. Same with the sharing. You'd have to be like, "Hey, this is awesome," to go to that length. And some people have done that.
Our highest viewed video of all time is still the Final Fantasy VII remake video. That's going to stand for quite some time with almost 250,000 views.
Turns out people like Final Fantasy. Specifically 7.
The second highest video was Star Wars The Force Awakens. Actually, the Final Fantasy VII, that was our highest viewed video back whenever we hit 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, so it's held up.
And it's still held up to 10,000 subscribers. So until we can get another video out there that kills, I thought the Star Wars Force Awakens trailer was going to do it.
I would have thought that too, because you really do have to have the right topic.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're posting a video about some really obscure thing, I mean, you're going to be a little bit limited in how many people, no matter how good it is, how many people are going to show up. So, maybe it'll be something to do with, I don't know, what happens next year. We don't know.
Batman, Civil War, Suicide Squad.
So there are some possibilities.
Yeah. Or our highest viewed videos normally on this channel are like E3 conferences when we stream the whole thing. And our Sony one last year has almost 50,000 views.
So that fared well.
But enough analytics. I think people are already tired of it. So
now that we've got you guys primed and ready, it's time to get into the meat and potatoes.
As one would say. I think you and I should do a review of a movie. A movie
that's a novel concept, Andrew.
Yes, on this movie reviewing podcast. You and I both saw The Revenant.
We did. Did you see it yesterday?
I saw it on Christmas Day.
Was that yesterday? That is yesterday.
I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, why do we not know that? I didn't either for a second.
I don't fucking know.
It's all a blur.
It really is. Okay, answer me this. Do you open presents on Christmas and Christmas alone?
No. It's like a very elongated process.
Yeah. We had our Christmas on the 10th.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, what we have done for a long time now is my immediate family, we do that on Christmas Eve night. Have a few drinks, you do some presents, play some games, whatever. It's the more relaxed one, and then we have a more formal, all of my more formal obligations on Christmas happen on Christmas. Yeah. But it's such a strung out thing. And then that doesn't get into, of course, work Christmas parties.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of which mine was actually really, really awesome this year.
Oh, awesome.
They opened up that budget, and I got some Five Spice out of it.
Five Spice?
Yeah, dude, I ate a bunch of it. It's legit.
Pretty legit, yeah.
Yeah, if you're in Springfield, Missouri, odds are you are not. You
by a pretty huge majority.
Yeah, by a pretty huge margin. You should check that out.
Oh man, yeah, Five Spice. Five Spice, Hoo Hot. Those are my go-to places.
Yeah,
I don't. For lesser known, I can't say Chipotle or anything.
Oh yeah, chains.
Yeah,
that are.
Henodes would be another really good.
Is Hoo Hot a chain?
Is it? If it is, it's a minor.
I honestly,
chain.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I wondered because of it being part of our mall.
Yeah. Post your comments down below if you have a Hoo Hot in your town or know of one in another town, as long as that other town is not Springfield.
Yeah, because we are aware that
yes.
there is one here.
It's good.
Yeah.
They changed up the menu. Have you been there lately?
I haven't been there in probably a year.
They got rid of the eggs and... Because eggs, that's the best part of it.
I love the eggs.
Yeah, eggs are gone.
That's stupid.
I know. They replaced them with tiny carrots.
Oh, God.
Who the fuck grew tiny carrots? That doesn't make any...
I don't know where those come from.
Yeah.
I've never really been able to figure that out. And I don't know who would prefer those to the eggs.
Because you have to eat the cob with them, don't you?
I think so.
Ugh.
I mean, that's just... No one goes
Not natural.
No one goes to a place like Hoo Hot so they can eat tiny carrots.
Yeah. All right. People are already pissed, I guarantee it.
Yeah, I don't care.
Let's talk about the Revenant.
Fuck you guys. 120 of you at least, 128. The other 10,000 of you need to stick around.
Yeah. 128. That's our margin. This is the newest movie by Alejandro González Iñárritu. He gave us Birdman last year, which was fucking incredible.
That was
movie.
really good.
It was my number 2 movie.
Yeah, I
last
was
year,
going to
and it
ask
was
you
your
where
number
you.
1, wasn't it?
I believe that I decided on it being my number 1.
Yeah.
By the time it was all said and done,
Yeah, it was my number 2, right after Whiplash. So,
I had Whiplash too. So
yeah, the movie stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy, Will Poulter, aka fucking Eyebrow Kid, and Donald Gleason.
yes,
Which Donald Gleason did really good job in this.
he did. I actually weirdly didn't recognize him for a second.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why. I
like
guess
that fiery and ginger hair didn't like grab your attention immediately.
no. I was probably too fixated on Tom Hardy's accent at the time.
I didn't understand a few of the things he was saying.
Well,
in that
he has a
movie.
track record of that, i.e.,
Yeah.
Bane and
Mad Max.
Mad Max. Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of in his repertoire to be unintelligible.
Did you ever read Michael Punke's book, who this is based off of?
I did not. No. So I did do some
spark-noted
research on it after having watched the movie yesterday.
I spark noted it because before the movie came out, it was no longer in print. You can find it for less than $500.
Right.
Now it's like $12 paperback
Lining
at
the
Barnes &
shelves of
Noble.
Walmart.
Yeah, exactly. But for those of you who do not know what The Revenant is about, it's during the 1820s, a group of fur traders in America's northern region must make a difficult decision after their guide is mauled by a grizzly bear. 2 men and the guide's son stay behind with him until help can be sent. But one of the men thinks it's too dangerous because a group of Native Americans are on their trail to kill them. It's a film about survival, revenge, and finding something within yourself to push yourself beyond expectations.
Yes, I think that's an accurate descriptor. And then from what I was reading, just a little bit of like housekeeping here. From what I was reading about the book, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Hugh Glass,
Yeah.
he in the book did not have a son,
No.
I believe. And so that was kind of, and I thought it was a really good decision by Iñárritu, and I believe he had a co-writer
Yeah.
to go ahead and add that family dynamic in there, because it gives us all something more relatable when we're watching as to, you know, why he would be as driven to survive.
It makes the revenge aspect a lot more personal.
Right.
And,
And I think you need that more than just like, well, they left me out here.
Mhm.
So I don't know where to start about this. I guess what I'd like to start with about The Revenant is the fact that it is absolutely, it's a brutal movie.
Yeah.
There are scenes that the bear maul scene, which
Dude, that went on for like 7 minutes.
it was really long, and it was unblinking. It is, you're staring at this thing happen.
Yeah.
And this is, by the way, Iñárritu and his cinematographer, Lubezki, is that his name?
Yeah.
Anyway,
They love their
who
long shots.
wins like every Oscar.
Yeah.
The long shot in that scene,
Yeah, it was 7 minutes, all one take.
I think I ripped a hole in the chair, you know,
were grabbing
basically
it?
just, yeah, I mean, it was awful to watch,
Yeah.
but also just, you couldn't take your eyes away, but you really wanted to. It
Yeah.
was one of those types of things.
Whenever I was in Alaska last year, whenever you guys had to, do the podcast without me that
Yeah.
one time. That's about the time I actually came across a grizzly bear as we were hiking. So now that I watch this, I'm like, God, that could have been me. But thank God it wasn't, because it was terrifying.
Yeah, no, it was a really, really well executed scene, and that's one of the movie's big strengths is the cinematography is as good as anything I've seen this year. I mean, it's really the contrast between like how beautiful nature is, you know, like all the shots up at the sky from DiCaprio's back.
Oh yeah.
And then like the just huge landscapes, the water, and then 2 seconds later you're seeing people get shot with arrows and mauled by bears. God. You know, it's such a weirdly perfect descriptor of like, this is man versus nature, man versus man.
I came to the realization I would not survive back in the 1800s.
Oh, I would have been dead like when I was born.
Yeah, I would have got rickets or something. And
Yeah, it wouldn't have. I wouldn't have lasted long at all. Or if I did, they'd be like, "Okay, gut this fish," and I'd be like, "Meh," and then they'd kill me.
Did they cook anything in that
No,
movie?
everyone's
They
just
ate
eating raw flesh.
Raw flesh. Like
Yeah.
they were running up to bison and just biting them pretty much.
That's another thing, by the way. If you're squeamish, the amount of animals that are just cut open and eaten or crawled
Yeah.
inside,
Like without cooking them, they just like
Yeah.
blood all over their faces because they're just fucking biting them.
because they need food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this. This movie was filmed with all 100% natural lighting. There were
I did read that.
Yeah. And it definitely shows because it's one of the most beautiful movies. And I think it's kind of, poetic how tragic this movie is, but how beautiful it looks at the same time.
Yes.
And
Yeah, no, that's like the big takeaway I had is that it's as constantly that's being juxtaposed. Like, look how pretty this is. Look how ugly this is.
yeah. I think the biggest takeaway for me for this movie were the performances. I think that DiCaprio, I don't want to jinx it, but
don't say it out loud.
Yeah, but you know what I'm going to say. I think this is it.
He might be in line for some hardware.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things, it's not my favorite DiCaprio performance, but it might be his best, is what I'll say.
Okay. I understand that.
He doesn't.
What's your
I don't
favorite,
think
then?
a lot of people. Well, that's what I was actually trying to think of. God, my favorite to watch was probably the one in Wolf of Wall Street, just because he's wildly entertaining as just a
he plays DiCaprio.
bag. Yeah. But I don't know if everyone will appreciate how difficult a role this was.
Oh, God.
And I don't even mean just from like the physical standpoint. He barely has any dialogue. And after the bear attack, his throat's injured, so even in the script, he can't really talk.
Yeah.
So the movie depends on his physicality, like on him selling his injuries and showing how just brutal everything is, how barbaric that life is.
Yeah.
And he succeeds. Like, I mean, it's believable the entire time, more than believable. And he doesn't have the opportunity to do that with words or largely. He doesn't even get to play off other characters.
Yeah.
So it's really, really an impressive showing.
I agree 100%. And not only did he kill that performance, I think everybody did a really good job. Fucking Eyebrow Kid, Will Poulter,
he was
did a good
fine.
job.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy was, when you could understand what Tom Hardy was saying. But I think besides DiCaprio, my favorite performance was Donald Gleason. I think he did such a good job.
I think I would totally agree on that front. There were, these are just really minor quibbles that I have. Some of I like the decision to make Tom Hardy's character like a little, he was definitely like, a deep fried, thick accent.
Yeah.
And he was definitely just kind of a brutish guy, but he made some points that were valid enough about survival in that time to where he didn't come across as 1000% a just mustache twirling villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is the right decision.
There were depths to his character.
There was a little bit of depth. I did not. We're gonna keep it spoiler free, but there were
anyway.
Toward the end, there's some discussion had between his character and another where I thought it was all just spelled out a little bit too much.
I'll just say this: was it the squirrel speech?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a huge deal. It's not a deal breaker.
Yeah.
But I thought kind of less is more. You're already having an actor like Leonardo DiCaprio not really talk, so just let the visuals of the movie do their job. Kind of what I would say there.
Where would you rank this across your movies that you've seen so far this year?
That is difficult.
Critically and personal favorite.
Yeah, sure. Critically, I think it's probably the best movie I've seen this year.
I agree.
It's not my personal favorite, but it's probably my second.
That's exactly where it lands for me.
Yeah.
Right behind Star Wars.
For me, it was Ex Machina is my favorite.
Ex Machina.
movie I've
Actually,
seen.
Ex Machina is a little bit down my list.
As somebody that I'm really into like hard theoretical sci-fi, so that was that's why. But again, like if I'm making a critical list, you know, I have to blend both of those things. So that's obviously we have a long way to go and a lot of movies to see, despite the fact that it's December 26th.
Yeah.
But it's a really strong movie, and it really. We talked about this before we started recording, but I was telling you it's going to be a while before I'm going to watch this again.
Yes, yes.
It's not like a fun, enjoyable trip to the movies. It's definitely.
It's like watching The Road.
Yeah,
it's
it
a
is.
really good movie, but goddamn, it's depressing.
Yeah, very laborious. Everyone should watch it, but know that you're not going in to have a breezy 2.5 hours.
Yeah. And did it feel like 2.5 hours to you?
Not really.
Yeah.
I just felt like, which is funny because there's not a lot going on plot-wise and there's no dialogue hardly.
Mm-hmm.
So usually those movies are going to drag, but I think it's just the world becomes... You kind of are just lost in that.
Yeah. For me, I knew that the film was winding down when it got to a certain part. And I'm like, oh man, I wonder like how much time is left in the movie and how much time has passed. And then I realized 2 hours and 10 minutes had gone by. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
wow. So the first, I didn't notice, but I realized once we were coming down to it, I'm not saying I felt that it was long. It's just I knew it was ramping down, and that I didn't realize that time had flown by like that.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons why it's paced really well.
Yes.
It's not just right away that the bear attack happens and DiCaprio's character is like left for dead. That doesn't happen, 5 minutes into the movie. You witness the Native American attacks.
That's like the start of the movie too.
The start of the movie, and then there's a lot of discussion in the group about how to handle that, where they need to go. You get a sense of the characters early so that when they pop back up later, you know who you're dealing with, which is a good idea. So, I mean, I couldn't tell you exactly, but I'd say there's a good 30, 45 minutes of exposition before it gets into the real survival tale.
Yeah.
I'd say probably, like 45 minutes.
And I also like how the movie didn't start off by explaining who each character was.
Yes.
You had to wait until after like some events took place, and then you get your character development after that.
Naturally. Yeah, it all arises naturally, which is, that's perfect. I mean, if you can do that and not, just beat your audience over the head with, or put up those little, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but I have an extreme distaste, by and large, unless it works within the style of the movie, with the whole display a character's name and what they do, like on the screen.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Because you haven't seen Creed yet, have you?
I have not.
Well, in Creed, whenever he's about to fight somebody, it shows their stats and their fight record before
Okay,
he
that
fights
makes
everybody.
sense, though. I haven't seen the movie yet, and I'm going to, but I think within the sports world, I mean, that's what we're used to seeing on our TV.
Yeah.
Every time we watch.
It is very sports vibe to it. Okay.
Yeah. So that I think makes sense. But I guess, cheesy action thrillers, a lot of times you'll hear the do-do-do-do-do, and it'll show you like a location, and then it'll be like, Sergeant Bob Butthole, whatever.
Sergeant Bob
U.S.
Butthole.
Marine Corps, and it flies across the screen, and then there's some bald guy like, Johnson, get over here. I don't like that.
Yeah, I understand what
I'll
you're saying. Yeah, that would not have fit into this movie, like,
Not at all. It was such a cinematic movie.
There was something else really supernatural about this movie as well.
Yeah.
Because, like, a bunch of the time, he's injured, so he's having these weird fever dreams.
Sure.
Halfway, like, throughout the entire movie, and it's just, it really gives you this sense of, like, pseudo-realism, like, it's really well done.
And the way it was shot with natural light, too, kind of helps that.
Yeah.
Another thing I just wanted to touch on is the far more historically accurate portrayal of like Native Americans in the 1820s than we usually get.
Yeah.
So there are some groups, tribes that were violent, screaming warlords.
Yeah.
There were others that were very peaceful.
Yeah.
And that is way more accurate. Usually you get one or the other.
Yeah.
And that's just not how it was.
Yeah.
there's kind of, you could sympathize. It also set up to where when Hugh Glass runs into someone, or runs into a group, you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, you're like, are they the good ones? Yeah.
Right.
Or the ones that are going to try and chop his head off.
Right. I really thought that was a cool
Scalp 'em.
dynamic. Yeah.
Dude,
Which that happens.
scalping happens in this movie, so... yeah, I am going to be posting later on today my actual full review of this movie on YouTube, but I am really glad that we had this discussion.
Yeah.
So you're going to be watching The Hateful Eight later on.
I'm going to be doing that today. Yes, tonight.
I went and saw that yesterday as well. Damn, it was a good movie. Not my favorite Tarantino movie,
Yeah.
but a good Tarantino movie
Have-
is incredible compared to an
Have
average
we?
film.
Have we? What would be your least favorite Tarantino movie? I think we agree on this, actually. But
Actually,
could
I
be
don't like
wrong.
Kill Bills.
Okay, we don't.
Or is yours
I
like
think-
Jackie Brown or something?
I don't know for sure, but it's probably Jackie Brown
Yeah.
in all likelihood.
See, I just think maybe it's just the fact that everybody beats you over the head with how incredible they think the Kill
Yeah.
Bill movies are. That whenever I was in college, every single dorm room was Kill Bill.
Oh, I know what you're talking.
And-
Yeah, we were in college at the same time, so yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And-
I will say this: Kill Bill 2, Part 2 is so much better than Part 1.
I think I agree with you there.
Um,
And for one scene in particular, and it's the Superman speech.
Yeah.
One of my favorite speeches.
Oh, it's great.
It's great.
And that's Tarantino, who gives his characters, like, I mean, the best monologues, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited to see it. It's probably the movie I'm most excited for of the season, just as a pretty unapologetic Tarantino fan
Yeah.
and lover of good dialogue in general.
I really like the movie a lot. It's a
It has Kurt Russell in it.
Kurt Russell is definitely in this movie with a giant mutton stash. But the thing I really liked about the movie is it blends a lot of things that we enjoyed from a bunch of his movies.
Yeah.
Like, not to give too much away, but it has like homages to the bar scene in Inglourious Bastards where they're in the bar den, you know?
Oh, which is, I think we actually talked at length about that scene on one of our filler podcasts where
Yeah.
we're just, shooting the shit about movies,
Yeah.
about the tension in that scene.
Yeah.
That's so good.
And then you go from that to the ridiculous violence of what you would see in a Kill Bill movie.
Yeah, and also, like, I could be wrong on this, but just from watching the trailer, because I've tried to stay away from, like, really reading anything about it,
Sure.
but from watching the trailer, it feels very of a time period with Django.
Yeah.
So,
I think Tarantino said they're not in the same universe, but
yeah, but I mean, like, same probably historical time frame,
yeah, it's
19th century sometime.
Old West in Wyoming, so
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
So, present day.
Yes, present day Wyoming, Old
Present
West
day
for the rest
Wyoming.
of us.
Yeah.
Well, if not for Missouri, we're not too far behind,
No, that's true.
but yeah, it was a really good movie. I foresee, knowing you as well as I do, that you would really enjoy that movie.
I'm hoping that I do. I'm going to basically just cover my coffee table in food in preparation.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
This movie probably has the most dialogue of any of his movies.
That's crazy.
And I know, because the guy loves his dialogue.
Yeah.
But this is like, I don't think there's a single moment where there's not somebody talking.
What's funny about it is there are obviously probably far more Tarantino fans than detractors, but even people who don't like the guy, you can't ever say he's a lazy writer.
Dude, that's exactly... Okay, whenever I did my review, that's exactly what I said. I'm like, you have to respect the guy for... I said he knows how to cast a film.
Oh, totally.
He knows how to cast... That's what I said.
Because he's done some really strange... Some of his decisions have been so strange and they've always worked.
Because he knows exactly who to cast, and
Yeah.
he knows that they can deliver on it.
Going back to Pulp Fiction being the first time he really did that, because Reservoir Dogs went well for him. People were expecting a lot.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, you have John Travolta in one of your leads?
The guy from Grease?
Yeah, and it totally worked.
Friday Night Fever? Wait, did that come out after Pulp Fiction? No, it didn't. It didn't, no.
Mm-mm.
All right, so... Yeah, I saw 6 movies this week.
That's pretty good. I'm probably going to end up there by the end of this weekend.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
I saw The Lobster. Did you ever see the trailers for that?
I saw the trailer, I believe.
You talk about if Wes Anderson was dialed up to 11,
Yeah.
that's what The Lobster would be.
I'm
Wasn't
not-
bad.
But it was just a little bit much.
Yeah, it's one of those movies
Because
I'm glad I saw,
Yeah.
but I'll never watch again.
Because Wes Anderson sometimes is just a little bit too much for me anyway.
And this is even beyond anything he's done
Yeah.
as far as like pure art house film.
Yeah.
It still has the same like character vibes, that monotone, dry humor that you see in a lot of Wes Anderson's movies. But the story synopsis is so outlandish that you're like, how the fuck did this? You can't say Hollywood doesn't have any more unique ideas.
No, they're all out there. It's just, they're harder to find, but they do exist. They're there.
And it's not even a movie I don't know if I could recommend because it's
Yeah.
so insane that if I were to recommend it, it could definitely be off-putting to somebody.
Speaking of like weirdos, when is that Charlie Kaufman movie out? Anomalisa, is that what it's called?
Anomalisa, that comes out January 20th, I think. It's
So
like
It's a ways down the road.
yeah. So we got like about a
That's
month.
annoying.
Yeah.
I'd like to watch that.
Yeah, the claymation stop motion.
Yeah,
Yeah. That'd be really cool.
I'm a large fan of that guy.
I am too. Eternal Sunshine was a brilliant movie.
Yeah, that's probably like on my. It's somewhere pretty high up my all-time list if I were to make one.
Yeah, we did our top 100, and I think it was in the 20s. So
Yeah.
it's not nothing. To
At some
scoff at.
point, I intend to do that exact thing and make a top 100.
I'm glad
it'll
you brought up Kaufman whenever
take
you're
a
talking
while.
about how there are people out there who know how to make a unique film.
Yeah, because he can do it and make it watchable. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, that's another thing. There are lots of people with great ideas, and they don't necessarily know how to funnel it into something that is digestible.
Yes, exactly. I'm trying to think of another director who can make a movie that's like not fan acclaim, like they have a really good cult following, you know?
Yeah.
Terry Gilliam does
Oh,
that.
yeah.
His movies are totally outlandish and
sometimes skate the line of.
Exactly.
I actually feel that way about David Lynch sometimes. Lots of stuff he's done I've thought was great, and some of it I just feel like it's experimentation for the sake of it, which isn't always a bad thing. It's just not always going to be worth watching.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Terry Gilliam hasn't made good movies.
Yeah.
Because the guy gave us Holy Grail
Yeah.
and 12 Monkeys.
Right.
But he also gave us movies like Zero Theorem and
I tried to watch that.
Imagination of Dr. Parnassus.
I did watch that.
I
And
never watched that one.
I wouldn't do that if I
Okay.
were you. So I think you're good where you're at on that one.
He also did The Brothers Grimm, which was pretty strange.
Yeah, I never did watch it.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Yeah.
I watched The Martian finally.
Oh, what'd you think?
I liked it.
It was really good.
I did not like love it. There's nothing I really disliked about it. It just didn't get into the next level for me, but I really liked it.
Did you read the book first?
No, I did not.
I recommend getting the audio version of that book and listening to it because that makes it a lot more fascinating.
Yeah, and I thought it was approached interestingly. Good deal of humor in it. Matt Damon was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But it just was pretty procedural in terms of its approach. It was like, for going that direction, just straight ahead, almost another survival tale.
Yeah, another test of the human spirit, sort of.
Sure, it was good for what it was. It did not have the artistic value that The Revenant did.
Yes,
That's what I would say.
I think it
It had a lighter feel to it.
Yeah. Do you think this is kind of what pissed me off? Is the Golden Globes nominated it for best comedy of the year?
I actually was listening to the podcast you guys did that I couldn't make,
Yeah.
where you discussed that, and I thought that was bizarre because it's a drama that's just kind of funny here
Yeah.
and there.
Dramas can be funny.
Yeah, they should be. They should have some humor in them for
If
the
you-
most part.
Is Castaway a comedy?
Yeah, that's a really good point, and it's totally not. But
there's a lot of
but
funny-
there's some humor in it.
Exactly.
You know?
Fucking Wilson.
You
He's
can't-
talking to a volleyball. That's funny.
Yeah.
But no.
God, I really don't understand that. Like, okay, it's plenty of humor, but Fargo, that's a drama still.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the stuff that goes on. I mean, you can't That's why, don't you think the Golden Globes thing where they are really determined to delineate between genres is kind of stupid?
Yeah.
At this point in time,
I
can't
think
we get away from that? Because movies should be blending those things.
I think maybe they do it just for the simple fact that they think, you know what, comedies never get the credit that they're due.
Right, but I mean,
But if you're gonna,
is it fair to comedies to put The Martian in there with them?
It's like, all right, fine, yeah, you're gonna give us an award, but you're not gonna give it to a real comedy.
Because when I think comedy, I think Ridley Scott.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, so we're about halfway through the podcast right now. We saw the Deadpool trailer. It's the only trailer we saw this week.
Yeah.
During holiday seasons, nothing comes out. We're not doing top 10 news or anything like that. It's just going to be banter.
No one wants to announce anything or really release anything because why would they? I mean, their exposure is going to be at its lowest.
Exactly. I guarantee you this podcast even is not going to get all that
creative views. We could literally say anything we wanted right now. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I'm not going to risk it, though.
No, I'm not either.
The Deadpool trailer was really funny. We watched the Red Band trailer. And to all of you fuckers out there who are pissed that we didn't react to the Red Band trailer, we reacted to just another regular one that came out. We reacted to it before the Red Band trailer was dropped.
Yeah. So calm down.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, make your own reaction video.
Yeah, and it'll be worse than what ours is.
Exactly. But yeah, the movie looks funny. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, I mentioned just offhand, I'm going to get into it more now, but it was surprising to me. I did not know it was going to have such an emphasis on humor. I remember
it's Deadpool, yeah.
I remember because I have no familiarity with Deadpool really. So what I understood that this was going to be a more like gruesome, violent, direct superhero type movie.
His nickname is the Merc with the Mouth because he always breaks the fourth wall. He talks directly to the audience.
Right.
It's like he understands he's in a comic book and he makes those like announcements like, all right, I guess it's time to turn the page and go on to the next bullshit photos. Right. Still stuff like that.
It looks really interestingly done. And this is the 38th time I brought this up on the podcast, but I am a Ryan Reynolds apologist.
I like him.
I have pretty high hopes, reasonably high hopes for this.
Yeah. It's because he's playing the character he was born to play.
Right.
You know, an action hero that's funny as hell. That's just Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, if I were to go through my favorite Ryan Reynolds performances, well, first off, the one that should be talked about in higher esteem than a lot of other performances that are similar, his performance in Buried.
God, that was good.
That was so good. And he did not get a fraction of the attention that James Franco got for
127 hours.
Which I don't want to take anything away from James Franco for that. He was great, and that year he would have been my pick for best lead actor.
Yeah.
If I had an Oscar vote. Weirdly, I don't. Yet. But, you know, Ryan Reynolds in Buried was right there with him, I thought.
Yeah, I totally agree, 100%.
Yeah. Kind of flew under the radar because nobody really cared about the movie. He's Ryan Reynolds, which has a certain connotation. Also, in Adventureland, he plays that sleaze bag, like 35-year-old, like hits on teenagers guy.
The same character he pretty much had in Waiting, almost.
Yes, pretty similar. And he's really good at that, and it makes me wonder if there's a reason.
Oh, no. Jared from Subway. What was it? Vogel? Is that his last
Jared
name?
Vogel?
Yeah. That guy's in prison.
Yeah, that guy, I'm going to say it, he shouldn't have done any of that.
Yeah. You know what? I know it's not a popular stance to take, but I'm planting my feet. Jared Vogel should not have molested children.
He should not have molested any kids.
Oh, I guess no, he didn't. He only had kiddie porn, which is kind of
Is that what it was? I honestly was disgusted and did not read any of that. Yeah.
So even I don't know. I'm just assuming.
Unfortunately, you know, it will not stop me from eating at Subway when I feel the need.
I ate there a couple days ago. That place is dead now. Nobody goes there anymore.
Well, people are worried. They don't bring their kids in there. That's for sure. Like Jared was just in the Subways.
Yeah.
Come here. I've got some sweet onion teriyaki sauce. That's all he ever talked about on those commercials. Walking and sweet onion teriyaki.
Yeah. Did you ever see the South Park episode with Jared Vogel?
I did not.
The AIDS episode.
I think I saw like a clip from it or something.
Where he's like, actually, the real reason why I lost all the weight is because I have AIDS. And it was like, what? He's like, yeah, I have these people. They come over and they help train me and stuff. Like,
wait. I think I have just seen that whole episode.
Yeah.
Now that you're saying
that's
this.
pretty much the whole episode.
Yeah.
Is he keeps saying AIDS, and people don't realize that AIDS isn't help or not
AIDS with an E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a pretty funny episode. Yeah. This is riveting stuff.
I feel like we hit a really strong zone when we were talking about The Revenant. Like that may have been one of our better
discussions,
like on-air reviews.
It lasted 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, we're going to do this.
Yeah, it was like really in depth too. But now that we have no actual material to work with,
because normally I print something out.
Yeah, we're just going off improv skills here.
Which you are far superior than me.
A cat and a dog walk into a bar. Nope.
What does the bartender say?
You guys are animals. Get out of here. That's the worst fucking thing I've...
Okay, well, talking about Deadpool, going back.
Yeah.
Tim Miller, the guy who did all the visual effects for Scott Pilgrim, is directing this one.
I really liked Scott Pilgrim.
Yes, I did as well. And it's being written by Rhett Reese, who we know is the guy who did like Zombieland and stuff like that. So it has a really good dark comedy vibe to it, and I think that's really going to lend itself.
I think it's going to be a little different. I wonder if it'll be a little off-putting from a commercial standpoint. Like, I don't know that this is going to fare as well in theaters as virtually every other Marvel.
I think for the simple fact that it's rated R is going to intrigue a lot of people.
It will, but there's a reason they've been avoiding giving R, like putting content in to get R ratings, because you do cut out a portion of your audience when you do that.
Yeah.
Which is why we were looking at this is just now dawning on me, by the way. It's like I'm glad I thought of it. Good job, me. So we were looking at the highest grossing movies of all time.
Yes.
Before we started recording, discussing where The Force Awakens will end up being on that list. We agreed number one. I mean, it's
going to be the highest grossing movie of all time.
Yeah, it for sure is. But you don't see any R-rated movies just anywhere.
No.
Because you can't take kids to, you're not going to have as wide an audience. You're limiting your audience.
Let's pull up that list and just see where it is.
We will discover the truth about R-rated movies and fiscal success.
All right, so the highest grossing movies of all time. Let's find the first rated R movie on here. So, nope. Even Titanic was PG-13 and there were boobs.
Yeah.
Nope.
Those might have been the second pair of boobs that I saw in a theater.
I honestly, we're
looking for what is the highest grossing R-rated film of all time?
Yes. We could just type
worldwide.
That in. I could have just fucking typed that in.
Because I can guarantee you, we looked at like the top 20-something.
We were in the 40s and there was nothing.
Nothing through the 40s? Yeah. Oh, this is kind of crazy.
Highest grossing R-rated movies of all time. Number one is The Passion of the Christ.
Okay. Yeah. Totally makes sense.
Yeah. And then American Sniper, and then The Matrix Reloaded was rated R.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, that is really interesting. So, yeah, you're making a little bit of a daring decision when you choose to go that direction. Which, by the way, anyone who is curious as to why studios and executives kind of need to curtail or try to curtail how far they're willing to go and how honest they'll be in some movies, this is why.
Yeah.
You can't make as much money. There's plenty of people out there that won't let their 13-year-old kids go see an R-rated movie. There are plenty of adults who have beliefs one way or another that will not permit them to go see an R-rated movie. I know. It's weird.
I know. America. You can see violence and all that stuff, but whenever you throw boobs and curse words in there.
Boobs and curse words, yeah. Cut off their heads, but,
yeah.
If I see a nipple or hear a shit, I am done. That's crossing the line. No, that remains one of the most bizarre double standards, which that pretty much only exists in America.
It really does.
It's just our thing. Everywhere else is repulsed by violence.
Yeah.
We're repulsed by nudity and curse words. And we're only repulsed by them because we fucking like it. And we
Yeah.
don't want to admit it.
Yeah. It's kind of like how, I guess it's because America, everybody has a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So violence.
Yeah. I'll protect you and yours if you take my guns.
I saw this video on YouTube the other day of this homeless guy who was walking around stealing packages off people's front yards.
Yeah.
Because, he was like, they're Christmas packages that people were delivering. And a guy ran out and pointed a shotgun right at his face. I'm like, dude, that's like fucking idiot.
That's not, and you know what they'll say is, like, it's an eye for an eye. No, they have a package in their hands. You have a shotgun.
Yeah.
This does not work. Also, a lot of this is predicated on biblical stuff. And I do seem to remember there being a commandment, something about how you shouldn't fucking kill people.
Yeah.
So maybe that needs to be rethought whenever you're trying to use that as an excuse.
Oh, man.
We're getting too political now.
I was just about to say, we're riding that thin line.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing it back to Netflix. I saw a series on there. I watched all 10 episodes in a row, didn't stop. I didn't go to bed. I started watching them last night and I didn't go to bed until 9 this morning. And then I woke up at 11. So I got 2 hours of sleep.
I'm so proud of you right now.
Yeah. The series I was watching is called Making a Murderer.
I am going to watch this.
It was so enthralling.
You are now the third person I know that's watched that thing straight through.
I couldn't stop.
So that's, yeah.
Literally could not stop.
I will absolutely be checking that out.
It's about a guy who back in the 80s was convicted of rape and like attempted murder on this woman. And he was in jail for 18 years. The entire time he was in jail, they said he was telling everybody, I didn't do it. I swear to God, I didn't do it.
Right.
Then,
18 years.
18
too.
years. Then DNA evidence proved that he didn't do it. That it was the sheriff's department that just didn't like the guy, so they blamed it on him. And he was suing. He got out, obviously, after 18 years.
Yeah.
And he was suing the sheriff's department for millions and millions of dollars. And so as soon as he sued them, they said, oh, we found a dead body on your plant and you killed her. So now this series is about trying to get away from this murder, except there's a lot of evidence that's pointing to the fact that he may have done it.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. I have like an unhealthy enjoyment of watching these things unfold now.
Real crime dramas, stuff like that.
It's probably a combination of the fact that I used to watch old Datelines and then the Serial podcast that we discussed earlier.
Which I need to start watching apparently because you
you
said, you're the first or the fourth person that said it's great.
Yeah, you got to check that out. And then we both watched The Jinx, HBO's The Jinx.
This feels a lot like The Jinx.
That was
a lot longer,
really disturbing, and the
burping.
God.
Yeah, killed them all.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's
what a brutal ending.
I was telling my friends Trevor and Anna, they live in Alaska, and they said, "Yeah, we got HBO." And I'm like, "Oh, so have you watched The Jinx yet?" And they're like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Ooh."
Yeah, I find that not a whole lot of people are familiar with it.
The Jinx, and they should be because it's fascinating.
It is. I mean, what do you think? Do you have any ethical problem with granting that much time to that guy, like to be on a televised? Or do you think it's kind of okay
morally
in the name of... Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's the... Because here's the problem is I think I do.
You have a problem with it?
But I think I don't care because it was very entertaining.
Oh, I'll say this.
I don't know.
I understand why people should be, but...
Actually, you know what? I think more or less that's what I'm trying to say.
I understand why people should be, but for the simple fact of my entertainment value, it's too goddamn good of a story.
It was, yeah.
God, that guy. I actually wanted to watch it again because I wanted to make sure. I probably
will at some point.
Because I was like, the entire time I'm watching, I'm like, this can't be real. This cannot have happened. And I'm like, I must have missed something, so I wanted to go back and watch it. Also, that's kind of the same feeling I got from Making a Murderer, where I wanted to watch it again. I'm like, wait, but wait.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And with the Jinx, it was like such an abrupt ending and so definitive, and it was just like, bah! And then the series was over.
Yeah. That's the way it ends is like, whoa. All right, let's watch the next. Wait, there's not another episode?
Yeah, that's the last episode? Seriously? Yeah. Very difficult to... Like, I just felt weird the whole next day because I watched them all this one night, and then I went to work the next day and felt weird about it.
Yeah.
Which is a good sign, artistically, you know?
Yeah.
If it makes you feel something.
Do you have a favorite show that you saw this year, like TV show, web show?
Just in general?
In general. That came out this year.
Like debut season or just any season
Debuted,
of anything?
finished a season like Fargo season 2 came out this year.
Well, that's probably what it is. Although this is a really strong year.
Yeah, The Jinx came out this year. So.
Yeah, The Jinx was out this year. Fargo season 2, Leftover season 2 is really good.
God, yeah, it was Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
One Punch Man,
which I still haven't seen, but I will.
I
will end up watching. I
don't know why I love that show.
I'm
so
going to
much,
be
but
watching. Probably my next thing will be Mr. Robot. That's probably my next thing.
Yeah,
that I'll be watching. I just watched Wayward Pines. Did you ever watch that?
I did not.
It's got a very Twilight Zone-y feel, and it's kind of over the top, but it's really enjoyable.
Did you see Twin Peaks is coming back?
I did. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, because I haven't seen the original Twin Peaks yet.
I haven't either.
I thought who? Oh, it was Austin. Austin
did,
is all up.
I
about.
watched the first episode of the original Twin Peaks though on Netflix, and it is really strange. And I'm going to. It's not a long commitment, 20 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
So I will be watching that in preparation of the reboot happening next year. Is that next year?
It's 2017.
2017? Okay.
Yeah. See, that's another thing I want to talk about. They're announcing shows and movies way too fucking early.
I hate that. I don't need to know.
Yeah.
You know? Tell me like 6 months beforehand.
That's the exact time frame I said a couple podcasts ago.
That gives I can
6
be
months.
excited about it, and it'll create buzz. If you tell me something comes out in 2017 and it's 2015,
yeah.
by the time that there's an announcement that like there's a trailer or something, I'll be like, oh yeah, I already knew about that.
Yeah.
It won't be as much as just out of nowhere. Here's a trailer for Twin Peaks. It's going to be here in 6 months.
Yeah.
People would flip shit. It creates buzz. I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that.
Star Wars was announced. The first trailer dropped less than a year before the movie came out.
Yeah.
So, the fuck.
Yeah, I know. It's really strange. I really hope for episode 8. That's so weird to say. Episode 8 of Star Wars, I really hope some stuff just gets kind of flipped on its head.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like
I want
total outlandish, or what do you mean?
No, I guess like I want some different stories. I want some. God, I hope J.J. Abrams keeps that same feel.
Oh, he's not directing it next.
Oh, that's right. I just read that.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson, the guy who did Brick and
I
Looper.
love Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, he's direct. And then Colin Trevorrow, the guy who did Jurassic World and Safety Not Guaranteed, he's doing episode 9.
Well, whatever the case, the best thing that J.J. Abrams did in The Force Awakens was make it just absolutely feel like the original trilogy.
Practical effects.
Practical effects, the irises and the swipes and stuff, to change scenes. It was just, that felt really good. I'm kind of hoping, now that some of definitely keeping this spoiler free for anyone listening who hasn't seen it yet, but some of the plot lines seem to be resolved now. So maybe there can be kind of a direction into that world that we haven't really been spending any time with yet.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm hoping for.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. I think it's time to do that.
Yeah. You don't want to rehash like the first one's The New Hope, the next one's going to be Empire, and then Return of the Jedi for last.
Because there was a distinct New Hope feel, which hurts my critical opinion of it, but I sure did have fun watching it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what...
I think that, the reason why it felt like New Hope, and this is just speculation, is the fact that it's a good way to get you re-immersed into that universe.
Yeah, I think it was totally the safe play.
Yeah.
To get you back in here to be like, well, this is kind of, here's the genre beats that we hit, and we're going to hit them well, we're going to do it well, but here's this.
Yeah. The next episode, like you said, is when they can go crazy then.
Yeah. I hope they do.
I do too. It was a really good movie. I'm trying to think of what other movies I saw. I'm going to be seeing Crimson Peak as well today. I know that movie came out a while back.
I may watch that tomorrow.
And I'm also going to see In the Heart of the Sea, which is also in theaters.
What is that about?
Okay, so...
Isn't that not another survival movie?
It is, but this is actually based on a true story.
Okay.
The Revenant's not, so...
Right.
But it's the SS Essex, which was a ship a long time ago, I think back in the 1800s. It's the true story that inspired Moby Dick.
Ah, okay.
Where,
yeah. I remember you telling me about this. Or maybe we discussed it on the podcast.
It's very possible. We talk about a lot of shit
Turns out we do discuss movies on this podcast.
But it's about not mainly the whale attack that sunk the ship.
Yeah.
But the real story is afterwards they are on these lifeboats and they're out there for months. And it gets to the point where they have to resort to cannibalism.
Oh, God.
To survive. Like, once somebody dies of starvation, then they gotta eat them. And that's really the main story. Until they can, get washed ashore somewhere.
Yeah, that will definitely be an interesting... interesting watch. Sounds like it'll be a real bucket of fun. Just like The Revenant, real feel-good trip to the Cineplex.
Man.
If people still say that. I don't know why they would.
Was it you? I know I was talking to Austin about this. How do you feel about David O. Russell movies? Like American Hustle?
Super hit or miss for me.
Yeah, I like Silver Lining. He did that, didn't he?
Yeah, and it was great.
Yeah, I did not like American Hustle.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
That was it. For such a widely acclaimed movie, I just didn't really think it was great.
Because I'm going to be watching Joy tomorrow.
That's probably, I'm going to probably try to get that one in this weekend as well. But... yeah, are you pulling up his filmography?
I am indeed.
That's good, because I feel kind of the same way. Like, he's done things that I've really enjoyed. He's also done things that I just didn't get. And also, just had really, to me, kind of an inconsistent...
he did I Heart Huckabees, which was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was a pretty good movie.
Three Kings was really good. The Fighter was amazing.
Yeah, The Fighter was good.
But, yeah. Other than that, then he did American Hustle and then Joy. I think American Hustle was for me the one I'm like, you're kind of slipping now.
Also, did you go into American Hustle thinking it was going? I thought it was going to be a lot more dynamic of a movie. I thought, I don't know, it
seemed pretty bland.
Seemed pretty lifeless.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that movie. I'm with you. I had high hopes.
Yeah, and
then they just fell pretty short.
Yeah, in Silver Linings Playbook, though, I greatly enjoyed it. I didn't expect to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a different thing. That would be one of my favorite, because technically it is, favorite romantic comedies.
Yeah. I think for me, it's Wrist Cutters.
Yeah, Wrist Cutters is really good.
Just because how unique that is of two people falling in love in limbo.
Yeah.
And actually... Ron Swanson's in that movie. Did you know that? It was one of his first movies.
I saw that well before I had seen Parks and Rec, so I'm going to have to go back and see that now.
Yep. Oh, man, I miss Parks and Rec.
I do, too. Oh, that guy, Nick Offerman in Fargo, though, this year.
With the lawyer. He killed that role.
So good. That episode where he's trying to talk back the,
where he's giving the drunk speech.
Giving the drunk speech to the Gerhardts and to convince them to make the right decision, and it actually works. God. It's such a great scene.
Such a great show.
Oh, it is. I can't believe how good it is.
Okay, here's something a little spoilery for Fargo Season 2. So if you don't want anything spoiled for Fargo Season 2, skip ahead, I'd say... a minute, just to be safe, because I'm just going to mention it. Okay, so skip ahead a minute right now, because here we go. The UFO.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So do you have an opinion on it? I have an opinion on it, or what you think it is.
I think it's a UFO.
Yes, it is.
No, I mean,
it
like,
has to be,
I didn't know, like, if you meant, like, it's.
I guess, like, the point of it. Do you have an opinion on the point of it?
No.
Okay, so in sticking with Fargo and Coen Brothers tradition,
Yeah.
the world that's created there is just like the stuff people do to each other is so absurd and senseless. Like the way that we interact with each other, like other species of animals do not do this stuff.
Yeah.
Like what we're willing to do to each other, that it's just absurd. So what my thoughts were when these really bizarre things are happening, like where people are basically just doing unconscionable, like terrible things to one another, a UFO shows up. Yeah. And that's almost meant to signify, and this is just me reading into it as a metaphor, like, well, fuck it, this isn't any weirder than what these people are doing to each other.
That's actually really cool. I like that.
That's kind of how what my interpretation was the more I thought about it.
Yeah. Because
that's kind of consistent with the Coen brothers, which, again, they didn't write this, but Noah Hawley, who created the show, obviously a big fan of theirs and consulted with them before season 1, and I think that's how I'm interpreting it at this point.
I like that a lot. It was just really weird and totally out of left field.
Oh yeah, way out there.
But I'm not saying I hated it.
No, I'm not either. I thought it worked fine.
Yeah. Anything else you got to mention before we wrap up?
I don't think so. Next week I will. I guess we could probably have a more in-depth discussion about a few different movies next week.
Yeah, definitely. You can talk about The Hateful Eight next week, and we can talk about some others as well.
Yeah.
How's Backup Catcher going?
We have started back up. We did our first episode, and I believe we're recording our second episode since our return in a couple of hours.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we are back full force. So you can find The Backup Catcher, which is a Major League Baseball podcast with myself and Van Shipley. You can find that on the internet anywhere, iTunes, or any podcast app that you happen to have.
Yeah. Singular, The Backup Catcher.
Yes, there's only the one.
Only the one. All right, guys. Thank you to everybody for watching. If you wouldn't mind, follow us on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Patreon, all of those at /FlickFreaks. We have a store if you want t-shirts, coffee mugs, phone tablet cases, all that good stuff. Head over to shop.spreadshirt.com /FlickFreaks. Happy holidays. Merry New Year's.
Yes. Thank you for listening to us during this busy time of year.
Yes. We will catch you in the next episode or in the next video.
Don't get mauled by a bear.
Do not get mauled by a bear. It does not look fun.
It's not as glamorous as it seems.
Yes. Thank you for helping us reach 10,000 subscribers. And we will see you next time. And until then, Godspeed to 100,000 subscribers.
Yes.